To another video. As I suggested when I put out my first vinyl collection video a few days back, I was going to also indulge in cassette collections. Why? Well, because when I moved to Thailand in 1993, in that last video, I think I suggested I stopped buying vinyl in 98. That's not true. I got that wrong. It was more like 92. So in 93 stroke 94, when I was fully installed here in Thailand, I started to buy cassettes. Here in Thailand, there were no vinyl, and CDs were often viewed as a little bit pricey for the locals, whereas cassettes were cheap. And so a number of shops sprang up in Bangkok. I was in the suburbs of Bangkok, but in Bangkok there were a few shops, and you could get hold of new releases through cassettes at a couple of shops, one in particular I liked, and they were priced at less than about £2.50 from recall, but definitely cheap. And then there was the second-hand, well, not second-hand, the cover, the copies shops in Khao San Road, where you could pick up very quickly copies of new releases for about 60p. So that's a little background as to why I collected so many cassettes, and I have got quite a few. I think I've got at least maybe 500. See, I'm nursing a cassette in my hand here. I am going to go through this first cassette collection video very briefly to give you a sort of idea of what I've got. So let's get started, and this is the first one. If you can, the light isn't that good. Yeah, this is Machina, the Machines of God, from 2000 by the American grunge bands Smashing Pumpkins, and this was their fifth, and oh god, I don't know how to hold these things. Let's just get it out of its sleeve so that this is an original, it wasn't a copy, and you might well get an idea. There we are. And so this came at about £2.50. There was a loose concept behind this album. It also brought Jimmy Chamberlain back. There we are. I've got that right. I'm not used to this. Oh, here we are. It brought Jimmy Chamberlain back on drums. He'd left for a period. And it followed on from Adore and Melancholy in the late 90s. Two albums that I really adored. Adored, yeah. But this one was much more a return to the grunge metal rock, and the concept, a loose one, that Billy Corgan put together, was that a rock star, a la himself, named Zorro, has a sort of how can I put it, a vision from God to change his name, and he does to glass, and he's transformed by God's voice, and it also transforms the band. It's appealing to an extent, and there was also a follow-up to this, which I've also got somewhere. But anyway, that's the first one, Machine of the Machines of God, from a very, very heavy Smashing Pumpkins. Next one up is, yeah, I've got a little bit of a shadow on that. It's because it's in a glass, a plastic. It's because it's in a plastic cover. Oh, no, it's still there. Okay, Republic by New Order. Okay, this again isn't a copy. Try and put it back inside. Oh my God, here we go. What a mess. Okay, right, anyway, you've got the gist. This came after a 4-year hiatus after Technique, 1993. It's what was loosely described as phased guitar pop, very much heard at the club scene, the contemporary club scene. It's an album that grows on you, but it's hardly radical. But New Order, well-established band by that stage in their careers. The third selection hasn't even got a case. I don't know if you can see that. It's probably a bit too small. This is a band called the Golden Palominos, and this is an album called A Dead Horse from 1981. I actually bought this in the UK. It's an American rock band fronted by one Anton Fire. This was the fourth album released in 1989, but they've actually continued to record, and the last release was in 2012. Described as no wave, whatever that means, and a lot of other musicians chipped in with additions to their material. Michael Stipe, John Lydon, Jack Bruce and Richard Thompson have appeared on their albums. And on this one, there is one Chuck Leavell, who's an Allman Brothers keyboardist from the past. It's very much old country, a bit of Americana, mixed in with some nice feminine lead vocals on many tracks. But I played it, well, I didn't play it because I haven't got a cassette tape. Ooh, confessions. But I did hear it on YouTube the other day. Thought I'd better remind myself what it was, and it was thoroughly pleasant. Okay, this is the fourth offering. You probably can't see that at all. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem with these, isn't it? So I'll try and do it here. Here we are. You'll probably work out that that's, and this is the album. I bought this one in the UK as well. This is 5 or 5th by the band Soft Machine. I'd got all their albums at this stage, and then it sort of fell away. This is 1972, and this was the first album without Robert Wyatt, who'd left to pursue a more intensive solo career, and it meant really that the band really slipped away from any slight remnants of rock or fusion and became a pure jazz band. There's no guitar on this album. It's certainly a modern jazz jam, really. Ratledge, the keyboardist, is still the significant figure in the band. I haven't listened to this for probably 40 years, and I'm no plans to do so in the foreseeable future either. This is for jazz purists, I think, of which I am not. Offering here, no cover at all here. It gets like that over here. This is Deacon Blue and the album Fellow Hoodlums. Now I have to confess, this was their third official album by Deacon Blue, released in 1991. Ooh Las Vegas I've also got on CD, but that was regarded as a compilation, which I found rather confusing. It was a double. But this, of course, this band from Glasgow, symbolised by the unity on both the material for the band, but also in real life, of Lorraine McIntosh and Ricky Ross, who are husband and wife. They're the singers on this, and they fit together, well, as you would expect, a happily married couple. Renowned for soft rock, folk, keyboard arrangements, lush harmonies, and personalised stories from Ricky Ross ably supported by that very high-pitched Macintosh vocal. This is an absolutely beautiful album, and one of my favourites from 1991. Your Swaying Arms, Twist and Shout, and James Joyce Souls, a few of the gems on this one. If you haven't heard this, I suggest you dig it out. It's fellow hoodlums, and it's by Deacon Blue. Right, this is the last one in this first video on cassette collections, and this is called The Ultimate Sin by Ozzy Osbourne. I bought this in Bangkok in the shops that dished out very cheap copies, and I don't know really why I bought it, because I'd long gone past the day where I was really interested in heavy metal, particularly from Ozzy. Loved Black Sabbath album 1 and 2, and then really petered out. It's slick, it's rapid play, it's US metals. The critics, however, viewed it as rather flat and uninspiring with no variety. The singles, Shot in the Dark, catapulted it to platinum status. Can't work out why people should love this. It's not my cup of tea, and it stayed very much in its cover for most of its life. The combination of Randy Rhoads with Ozzy is regarded as mega. I can't honestly say that I've really sat down and listened to any of their material, so not a big fan. It cost me 50p, so I haven't lost out much, but it's still here, and it's still in the box. And that's the end of the first one. So love your comments on these 6 albums, and we'll move on.